Hello YouTube, this is Froogle, and you're looking at my desktop, which is incredibly unusual. I wanted to do a Froogle Vlogs, I can't even speak. I wanted to do a Froogle Vlogs and talk you through what's going on over here, because I know a number of people have commented, what's going on? The level of content has dropped and all this kind of stuff, which they always do when it drops from time to time. I've said many times in other videos, but I'll say it again. YouTube is not my full-time gig. It really isn't. It's a great fun hobby. I love sharing my passion for simulation and all things sim with you guys, and I'm just very lucky that it's a hobby that actually pays for itself, but it's not my full-time job. My full-time job is I'm a startup CTO. I'm actually CTO of a couple of startups, one of which takes a lot more time than the others, and is going very well. I don't want to give too much detail on that at this point, but anybody that's been involved in a startup knows that you have to get the company on its feet, you have to get the product built, you have to get funding, and then you hopefully launch and have a very profitable time for the next few years after that until you exit, which is usually when the company sells or gets floated on the NASDAQ or something like that. I've done this a few times. My biggest success was a company called IZEA, which last week actually went on the NASDAQ. But as you can imagine, though, without digressing too much, that takes a huge amount of time. So there's that. But if that wasn't enough, I normally manage to juggle YouTube with work without a problem, give or take, a few instances where things get very busy. My download's nearly finished. But aside from that, I had a couple of issues these past 2 weeks. First, my PC, which you're looking at here, this is why you're looking at my desktop, failed. Don't worry, there is flying stuff coming in this video, don't turn off just yet. But it failed. I have a RAID array, and my CMOS battery died, and so that wiped all the BIOS settings, and when I put a new battery in, it forgot that I had a RAID array, and I couldn't recreate the RAID array, which means I lost pretty much everything. So I took the opportunity to now I'm going to start answering a bunch of questions at this point, viewer questions, which I'm already answering as to why there hasn't been any content, but I'm going to carry on that. People have often said, do you use Windows 10? And if not, why not? No, I did not use Windows 10. I resisted it for the longest time. The reason for that is I don't think it's wise to jump into a new operating system until it's had a few patches. I also don't think it's wise to jump into a new operating system until all the hardware add-ons that you use are supported in it, and a number of hardware add-ons I use were not supported in it until very recently. But then with this hardware failure, I decided, what the hell? So I've installed Windows 10, so I'm pretty much starting from scratch, and so that's taken quite a lot of time. Obviously need to reinstall everything, which takes a while. But then in addition to that, I had a medical issue. Now, a number of people, I did actually mention it on Twitter, and a few people picked it up actually in the video as well, the news video, that I didn't sound well. I am not going to go into what's wrong. It shook me up quite a bit. Initially it was, I will tell you what it was initially. What it was initially was a chest infection. And that's just fine because you take antibiotics and you get over those things. But then I had some checks for other stuff. What is this? Windows Smart Scan prevented an app from running. Run anyway. I had some checks for some other stuff, and the other stuff showed up something a little bit serious, which I'm not going to talk about, but thank you for your well wishes, and it should not affect the YouTube at all moving forward, at least for a little while. But yeah, that's kind of rocked me to my core a little bit. So that kind of shook things up a little bit. So the past couple of weeks have been just dealing with the machine crashing, reinstalling it, trying to juggle reinstalling everything with work as well, past couple of months, and now medical stuff, which is very annoying. What you're seeing here, by the way, is I'm installing Orbex Tap Tapini, which I mentioned in the news show I was very excited about, and I just noticed today it's available today. It was $24.95, and I'm excited enough about it that I went and bought it. That's the next question. Do I get sent this stuff, or do I buy it? Most of the stuff I still buy myself. Some of it I get sent. I'm going to move this off the screen right now for obvious reasons. In fact, I'm going to leave this here, and when I move this off the screen, you'll be looking at something else. So let me just leave that sitting right there. But Tapini, I was very excited about, so I went and bought it. Orbex don't normally send me free stuff. But on the Orbex pattern, on the Orbex front, and kind of tying around, segueing a bit to flying, people have said or asked, that I did mention a while ago that I was going to age an A2A aircraft, and typically all my videos obviously use Orbex, and Orbex is the best scenery to use at low level with an A2A gorgeousness like the Comanche or the Cherokee. And yes, I am going to do that. In fact, before I fell sick, I actually recorded, this is the bit where you look at vid flying video, I actually recorded a flight with the Northern Alex, and I highly recommend you go and check out his channel, because you're going to be seeing a lot more stuff between the two of us, the Northern Alex and I. He's another member of Code Zero, and we're just a bunch of friends that all have pretty successful YouTube channels, and we do stuff together, we collaborate together. So the Northern Alex and I went flying from his home airport of Slave Lake in Canada, and we were going to go flying for a little bit, and he was trying out A2A aircraft and his new Cytec gear, and I was going to fly and start or continue aging my Comanche. I always get the two confused. But we had issues there as well. He wasn't happy with his recording, and then when I got the sound files from him of his voice, they cut out quite a lot. So I planned this week to put up at least my side of that and show that footage, the footage you're looking at right now, in fact. And it just didn't work out. So I'm behind the ball again. Stuff that I had recorded and had planned to upload, I'm not now going to upload, which is annoying. The scenery you're looking at, by the way, in this footage is Orbex's Open Land Class Alaska and Canada, and it's very, very good. I didn't have that before, and he'd mentioned it might be well worth getting, so I did to record that video, and it's absolutely stunning. If you don't have it and you do fly in that part of the world, I highly recommend it. As usual with Orbex stuff, it's very, very high quality and awesome. The other thing that I was going to do in that video, which I'll now have to do a separate video for, is the Flight 1 GTN 650. Now, Flight 1 reached out to me about a year ago and said that I want to look at the 650 and 750 GPS devices, and that's not really me, and I shut them down, and said, no, why would I want to look at a GPS? And I think I upset them. So they went away. And then I've seen more and more people using these things and thought, wow, they're actually really, really, really good. So I reached out to Flight 1 and said, I'm sorry, can you send me those GPSs again, but for prepared? And they didn't respond for the longest time. So I ended up buying the Flight 1 GTN 650, and I'm very, very happy with it. It does a number of things which no other GPS has done. First, it accurately emulates a Garmin GTN 650, which in itself is pretty cool. You actually need to install the Garmin training software, which gives it all the files that it needs to operate within your sim. It's that good. And the functions on it are amazing. You bring up airport information and runway information and beacon information and plot your route, obviously, and a whole ton of other stuff. It is absolutely superb. The 750 I don't have, and Jeff at Flight 1 has said that he's going to send that across, and then I will do a video when that arrives. The 750 actually has the ability to bring up charts as well, so you can look at approach charts and approach plates and all that wonderful stuff right within the cockpit of your aircraft, which is absolutely brilliant. So I'm looking forward to doing a video of that, but I was going to show that in the video I was doing with Northern Alex. So that's another kick in the teeth. I really wanted to get these videos out, but I just can't. It's kind of one person talking to somebody that's actually not there and waiting for the response, and it's very, very awkward. And as I said, Alex's sound cuts in and out a lot. It just did not work. But we will be doing a lot more videos. And back to my desktop here, Tapini that I just downloaded is something that we are planning to use, because Tapini is actually 7 airports, and they're all very, very tricky to fly into and out of. They're all bush airports or bush strips, and they're very challenging. I'm looking forward to trying it out. I'm just going to check it's installed here. Yeah, there it is, Tapini. It's all installed, and there's no configuration, I think, there. I need to update Global Vector. Which brings me to the next question. When installing your sim, FSX or prepared, it doesn't matter, what do I tend to install? Well, I actually haven't finished installing everything yet, but what I did was I got the sim installed, so prepared. I don't have FSX, or I don't have all my add-ons installed into FSX, and there's a reason for that, and that's another question I'll get into in a minute. But for prepared, I put the sim in, I put FTX Global in, obviously, I put Vector in, Open Land Class Alaska and Canada because it was just so beautiful. And then started adding in airports. I've added in a couple of regions as well. So North America, you see California is installed. Because yes, the next question, I will be flying and doing my I ratings on Pilot Edge. Absolutely I will. It's just a question of time. That's the fire within which we all burn, to quote Star Trek Generations. Time is the fire in which we all burn. So yes, I will be doing that, and I got Southern California for that reason. And you'll notice down here, the astute among you have already noticed somewhere down here there's a KSNA. There you go, Latin VFR, Orange County, KSNA, ready to go. John Wayne Airport on Pilot Edge. So yes, we'll be doing all that stuff. But anyway, installed all my global scenery first, and then the regions, then the local airports. Then I started putting on the aircraft. So I put on all the A2A aircraft, the Comanche, the Cherokee, the 182. I haven't put the 172 in because I don't tend to fly it very much. Did the update, A2A update. I put in the Majestic Q400, which is the next question. When are we going to see more fully loaded or fully loaded style videos? Very soon. I realized that the Majestic Q400 is one of the aircraft that scares me because it's so complex. I don't know everything about everything. And I've only done one series of videos with it. And I'm a big fan of FS to Crew, but I've never done, there you see it right there, FS to Crew Majestic -8. I've never done an FS to Crew Q400 video. I have live streamed that, but never done a video. So yeah, I'm working on something there with the Q400 and FS to Crew, because that's awesome training as well. If you're going to be doing shared cockpit, which is a feature of the Q400 Pro, which again, I've never done a video on, the Q400 Pro or shared cockpit. So with Alex on board, and I know Alex is a huge fan of the -8, and the Q400 in particular, I will be doing shared cockpit with him. So I got FS to Crew, and I've installed that, and we'll be using that to train the flows between pilot and first officer. Yeah, in that aircraft. So that's what I did. Scenery first, aircraft second, updates as well on all the scenery and the aircraft. Then I put in place Rex 4 Texture Direct, because I always use that. I put in place Rex Soft Clouds, because I always use that. And then finally, Active Sky Next. That's all installed and ready to go as well. What I don't have installed, so I can't fly just yet, I don't have FSUI PC installed yet. And I don't have EasyDock, which I love. I know a lot of people don't, but I actually very much love EasyDock. So I can't fly until that's installed. Anyway, let me see if I can start the sim up. And it probably won't, because I've been running the sim at 2560 by 1440, and to record I tend to go 1920 by 1080. I haven't set this up to record at that lower resolution or to run at that lower res, but we'll see if we can get to Tapini and put an aircraft on the ground. And excuse my coughing, still recovering from the chest infection, and that's really messing with me. So anyway, what did I answer already? I answered, what do I install when I install a new sim? I just told you that. Why have there not been enough videos? I just told you that. Are there more fully loadeds coming? I just told you that. Am I going to age A2A aircraft still? Absolutely yes. Am I going to be continuing my I ratings on Pilot Edge? Absolutely yes. So, answered a whole bunch of questions in one go. And as you can see here, normally when I record, the sim is set up to record. What I tend to do to record is I'll start the sim up a couple of times. I actually start it up, load the aircraft, load the scenery, then quit out, then do it again, then quit out, then do it again. And that last time it loads very fast, everything's nice and cached, and make sure that my graphics settings are good. I tend to have multiple graphics configurations in any sim, FSX, Prepared, X-Plane. Obviously in Prepared and FSX, I can reload that config in one click. I can't do that in X-Plane. But I tend to load in graphics settings that fit the scenery and the aircraft to make sure that everything is slick and fluid, and you get a good experience watching, and it comes across nice and smooth. All the little tricks of the trade there. So I haven't done that this time, which is why you're looking at the stuff that you don't normally see, which is my sim starting every bit as slowly as yours do. I'm not superhuman in that respect. It takes a while even for my PC to crank stuff up. It is what it is, unfortunately. What else? What other questions you've been asking me? X-Plane. Am I going to take a look at the MD-80 or the MD-88 again? Now it's been patched. Probably. I probably am not going to get Paul over here. Paul's a very busy guy, and I'm immensely respectful of his time. So I'm probably not going to drag him over just to stick him in front of a camera. It feels a bit like using the guy, Hey, you're my friend, but come on over. I want to film you. So I'll probably do that one on my own, and what we'll do for there is probably just do a flight between A and B. A proper full flight with it. Since I looked at the change list, and it actually looks pretty good. They have changed a lot of the stuff that we called out in that first video. Still getting a bit of hatred. Most of the hatred comments get deleted, but still getting a little bit. I had one guy telling me, I didn't delete this, I don't know how to use an FMC. Not really paying attention to the video. And the fact that in the video it's not me using the FMC, it's a qualified MD-80 pilot. So therefore, if this is a sim, of the MD80's FMC and he can't figure it out, then it's broken. It's as simple as that. Tapini, there it is, Papua New Guinea. Excuse me. Wow, you can only start on active runway or 1. I don't know what 1 is, whether it's parking 1 or runway 1, but we'll choose it. And where am I at? 8 in the morning, it's springtime. We might as well go with that. I'm not going to load the weather up, just want to see what this looks like. So obviously I don't have EasyDock installed. I don't even know if this is going to work because the sim is set to run at completely the wrong resolution. But we'll just take a look. As not having EasyDock installed means I can't easily change my views or look around as slickly as I normally do in the videos. But there we go. Star Citizen is the next one. When am I going to do more Star Citizen videos? Now, I was practicing at the weekend actually, and I wanted to put out a lot more. I wanted to put out 1 a week. Obviously that got stopped over the past couple of weeks with my problems. But yeah, I'm getting back into that. I actually changed my flight config, which is another point actually, another video that's in the works. I actually changed my flight config back to the Thrustmaster Warthog to fly that, because there is a really cool setup out there from a guy called Solarfly that I managed to get hold of, and I'm going to talk all through that in the next Star Citizen video. But if you have a Thrustmaster Warthog, the Solarfly config is amazing. But I also, the next video is, I haven't used my Warthog in so long, I noticed I got stiction, which is where you have increased friction as you return the joystick to center. So I did a video on how to fix that. Now, not as a professional or as an expert or in any way competent on that. I looked up a video from somebody else on how to do that, and so the video I have is me working through that other video, and full credit is given there. What is going on? See, I have the same problem as you guys have. I said go, and now it's all kind of crashed. I probably need to go and mess with my settings before I can do anything here. Let me quit out. Exit prepared. We'll start that up again. So yes, more Star Citizen videos are coming. They're a little bit different. They're not where I wanted to be at this point. I wanted to be multiplayer, playing with other people. I do still intend to do that. Next question, when am I going to contact other people in Star Citizen and borrow their spaceships and stuff? Very soon. I wanted that to be now, but with my delays, it's not now. It's going to be a little bit later. But so the next video from Star Citizen is going to be combat. It's going to be the drone fight, or what is it, Vandal Swarm. So looking at that, and then also looking at racing, which is pretty awesome. How do I? I don't know how I do. I was going to say, how do I change my settings? I actually don't think I can. Let's just load up the default flight. Oh, here we go. So it's spread across all my monitors now, which is not optimal. But at least it's going to start this time. Then we'll choose the aircraft and the airport, and I'll put it in windowed mode. And you get a glimpse at the end of this video. So what other questions I think have I had lately? I had the usual sort of stuff. You know, watching me drive a truck is painful. Well, yes, I'm not a truck driver. I'm not an expert on that at all. It's a bit of fun. It's always going to be a little bit painful because I am very much in the same boat as most of you, learning. Okay, so that's all great. So scenario, create. Let's see if we can change stuff now. So Piper, Comanche, we'll choose that. And we're going to go back to Tapini, please. Please. Nope, I did it all wrong again. Tapini, runway 1. It is the runway. It's actually going to put me on the runway. Okay, so there's no parking at Tapini. And the weather and time is good. Click on OK. Please load this time. The spinny wheel of waiting. So loading. Let's hope this goes. What else? What other questions are there? I can't remember any others. Those are the ones I just rattled off the top of my head without putting up an attributed comment on the video as an overlay are the most common ones, so they stick in my memory. I hope that's okay. But normal service will resume very soon. I've been trying actually over this year and last year to actually get my volume of content up. Oh no! See, this is the stuff you don't see as well. What the heck is up with that? So I have some issues to fix before I can record that. Anyway, hope that answers some questions. There are more flying videos and other videos coming very, very soon. As always, my name is Froogle. Thank you so much for watching. I guess I've wrecked my Cherokee, right? So much for aging this. Got to reset everything. Thank you so much for watching. As always, my name is Froogle, and I'll see you next time.